Hello guys, welcome to the coding challenge episode 2nd, the snake game in JavaScript. So first of all, I want to say sorry for my previous video. There were some audio problems in that video. Actually, my microphone was not working that time. So anyway, let's talk about this video. So I think you are all familiar with this game, and if you are not, then pause this video, play this game, and come back again. So let's get just started. So firstly, set up one folder exactly in the same way I had done in my previous video. And again, I'm telling you guys, these tasks are based on p5.js files. So don't forget to download them. So I'm using personally Sublime Text 3 again for this task. Open that folder in Sublime or any other framework, then start code in sketch.js file. So let's start the code. So here I'm making three variables. S for our snake, SCL denotes scale or length of our snake, and food is for snake's food. If you are known about this game, then actually this will happen in this game. So these variables are actually the base of every object we want to show in our output. So now we have to make some functions which are the requirements of this p5.js called setup and draw functions, and we have to fulfill these requirements. So let's make them. Function setup and create a canvas 600 by 600, I think. Give this a frame rate of 10. Now call a function called pick location, which we will make after this. So now we are making the pick location function. I will explain you later what will actually happen in this function. So with the help of this function, snake's foods will drop randomly on the basis of our screen's columns and rows. Here actually the floor means our screen where food will actually drop. I'm creating a vector here which will call randomly a food for our snakes in columns and rows. And yeah, it also multiplies the scale of our snake if snake eats the food. So now after this we have to make another function which is also a requirement of p5.js files, and this function is a draw where we will draw our background for our game screen. We will give some conditions, and yeah, this 51 is actually the black color for our screen, and this is our screen background. And here I am giving a condition: if snakes eats the food, then pick location function will work and randomly the next box of food will drops. Now actually here I'm calling some functions: death, update, show, which we will create later, and I will explain you there. Now here I am giving a color for our food, our snake, fill, fill 255. Actually it denotes white color for our food and our snake. After this I am creating a rectangle of food. Actually food will drop in rectangular shape, and yeah, this whole function, or we can say condition, will help in add one rectangle box to our snake if snake eats the food. That's pretty good. So yeah, now what actually happens in this game: if you press up arrow it goes up, and if you press down arrow it goes down. So here we can add a function, and it is a global event in this game, in this p5.js files, called key pressed. We have to give some conditions in this function to control our snake's direction, we can say position. So let's create this function called key pressed. So here I'm giving a condition: key code triple equals to up arrow. So here if you know about JavaScript, then you probably know the difference between double equals to and triple equals to. And here, if key code triple equals to up arrow, then S direction, our snake's direction, 0 on x-axis and -1 on y-axis. And similarly, I will do for down arrow, right arrow and left arrow. So for down arrow, I'm given directions 0 on x-axis and 1 on y-axis. So let's just copy and paste for right and left. So we are all done. So I'm giving the directions for right, 1 on x-axis and 0 on y-axis, and for left, -1 on x-axis and 0 on y-axis. So here we are done with this file sketch.js, and now we are starting to code in snake.js, which is our another file for this game. And here I will make a function called snake, and in which I will make some objects. This dot x speed. Now look here, x speed and y speed will track our snake's speed. Actually, x speed equals to 1, I think. Now here I want for this snake object to have some functions which we will make here, and I will explain. So first function, this dot eat equals to function bracket pos. Pos denotes position. Variable d equals to distance. Pos dot x and position of y. And here I will also give some condition, like if d is less than 1, and if this conditions satisfied, then return true, else false. Now we will make another function or second function for this called dir, which denotes direction. Which we had already called in sketch.js file for our snake's direction. But here actually we are tracking our snake's speed. So now we will make our third function called depth. Actually depth means game over. So if you know about this game, what actually happens is if snakes touches the wall or where our game screen is over, then game will finish or starts again at that point, at that same point. Now here I am starting a loop. Now here if I is less than the tail of our snake's length, then where variable position. Now I is 0. So game will start from that position. Now here also I will give a condition. Now afterwards we have to make two more functions. So now after update and show, after our death function, our game over function, we have to make another function called update. Actually this function helps to our snake to update his food if he eats. If he eats the food, then that rectangle of food will add in snake's body. and for this we have to make a loop. Look guys, these loops are the major part of our coding, our creation, our imagination. So these are very important. So where I'm starting, I'm giving a condition, and afterwards I will create a vector for this. Now here, what is actually happening is that x value is simply changes by the x speed value and multiplies itself by scale, or we can say our SCL variable. And for y, the y value simply changes by the y speed value and multiplies to SCL. Actually, this is in our function. I'm making a constraint for that. What it means actually is if snake's width is 0, then automatically S scale of snake will decrease, or we can say minus from the width or minus from the height. So afterwards, lastly, we have to make our last function called this.show, and this function is very important because by this function we will show everything, every type of functionality in our project, or we can say in our game. Now I am making a rectangle for our snake, for our food. Which will multiplies to the snake if he eats this. Snake eats the food. Now look guys, if you have interest in these types of works, in coding and this field, then just change your imagination. Just convert your imagination in these types of games, projects, or anything you want to make. So we are all set. So finally, it's over here. Now set up your index file exactly in the same way I had done in my previous video. Save all files. So let's run this file in our browser. So here it is, our snake game. Create this game guys, play it, and don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned for next videos. This game is really addictive.